both on a bit of a loss streak at the moment, but yeah, you're right. The Nexus team and the changes we've seen, obviously Sound has come into the mix now, which is quite cool to see. He was in the 9 roster before, and he did all right there, but now playing with his countrymen again, I'm keen to see how things are going to unfold.
Yeah, and of course there's the conversation about BTN as well. I mean, he's basically the godfather of Romanian Counter-Strike at this point, right? He's been on the team for 8.5 years, nearly 1,700 maps played. Truly unbelievable. But let's see how they do today against Metizport. And it's an interesting Metizport team, of course, with those upgrades of Hampus and Isaac. I was definitely a fan of those changes, but we'll get into that a little bit later on because the pistol round is underway. It's an early one for one. Zello does well to find a second, but the bomb plant is available.
Yeah, it's going to give Metizport a good advantage until Adron gets in on the act as well, taking down Lumi. That's a man advantage now for the CT side. No kit. Oh, there is a kit. Raga actually has got that kit at his disposal. Certainly will enable them a little bit more here on the retake, but Isaac gets a huge kill. He can now remain in position towards Cave. Difficult to root him out of position. Defuse is going to be stuck here by Raga. Defuse is being stuck right now. Isaac is the one who has to try and do something about it, but the kit is going to enable him to complete it in time, and it's Nexus who open up first.
Metizport, that's a rough start. I feel like they kind of did everything right in that round, apart from that last portion. Yeah, I mean, Nexus, obviously, it's not just the new addition of Sound, as you say, coming through from 9. I've always quite an enjoyer of Sound. I think he's a very good individual player. And does quite well in his roles, I felt like, for 9. Things might be completely different for him on Nexus, but I've always thought he was pretty solid. And, of course, Adron, of course, is a relatively new addition, too, and I have not seen him play yet, so looking forward to seeing what he can do. And already with the MP9, that is against the 4 spy in mid. He gets 2, and he falls away with his life.
Yeah, very good way to start off against the 4 spy here. Happy to give up that control. I mean, we haven't been able to speak much about the Metizport roster, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about them once we have an anti-eco round of sorts. Plopsky on the fadeaway will be able to get back into Donut just in time to evade the rampaging Sound and BTN, who both have MP9s, and a fresh smoke is going to be very frustrating here for them to try and traverse. It's going to be a flash through the smoke. Plopsky's blind, and he's going to hear the footsteps, and he can't even get a single kill. That's just damage inflicted. That gives Nexus a big advantage here in this retake. Molly, in case there's a player behind the site itself, not the case. Lumi left alone in the clutch right now towards A main. Sound is considering exactly that. Oh, and he's been able to actually use the boxes covered. Defuse no longer being stuck by BTN. He does have a kit, but Lumi realizes he's not punching in the digits. Taps the defuse to try and draw Lumi out once again.
Oh.
Even though the kill comes through, I'm not sure there's time. I don't think there is.
I think he's got it.
I don't think he does. Oh, he's got it just in time.
Oh,
what a clutch.
0.02, I reckon, something like that. Had to have been that close. BTN, he's done it, mate. He might be 35, he's still clutching. Incredible. What a guy.
Is he 35 years old?
Yes, my friend.
What the hell? I did not know that. And Zello is like 24. Let me go back and check here. Just double check Zello's exact age. Zello is currently 24 indeed. So
yeah,
that's quite a big disparity between the two of them. But BTN, I mean, he is the lifeblood of Nexus. Metizport going to continue to spend their money here as they're getting a lot of damage done in these rounds. They're losing in bomb plants as well. Coupled with the increased round loss bonus means they're just going to try and keep up as much pressure as possible.
Yeah, well, as I say, we'll wait for an eco until we can maybe get into some of the Metizport lineup, of course, because we only briefly touched on it as the pistol got underway. Pretty speedy pregame, of course. The Falcons TNL game went on for a lot longer than expected. We've had maybe a few more minutes to talk about both these two teams. We've got to stay on schedule. The scheduling is a tough thing in 2025. So many tournaments running at once. Some teams pulling out, some teams not. Some clashes coming through, some teams having to forfeit. It's not easy. Raga in Donut and Adron with him in Red Room. Both of them get completely overwhelmed. There's a couple of kills back, but Sound and BTN now on the retake. BTN still has that kit, of course, that basically won him that previous round. But they need to find a kill first, and that's looking ever more difficult.
Yeah, it's not like they have a way to actually get into the bomb site this time like they did in the previous retake where they flashed their way through the smoke, got the kill, and that's what set things in motion. Sound will get a kill on Isaac, though, but BTN with the kits has hit the deck, and that's going to be enough for Sound to just call it a day. As Metizport do get on the board, they persist with their force buys, and it pays dividends.
As far away from the bomb explosion as humanly possible. How big it is on Ancient. And 4 will be saved. Yeah, and right now I feel like Adam is probably the most solid member on the Metizport side. People will probably look at Hampus, Plopsky, and Isaac. I think Plopsky is actually a pretty good individual still in the modern day of Counter-Strike. But they're just in a weird position right now at Metizport, right? I mean, made a number of questionable changes in 2024. They benched Susp.
Yeah.
He went on to do wonderful things with Wildcard, Ditto, ZTR, with Gamer Legion in the combination with Ash, right? So they're still doing amazing things with whatever changes they've had. Now with Rez obviously on board. So, you know, you have to question those decisions and how the sort of leadership of the org was at that point. But listen, I feel like they're not in a terrible spot right now to maybe make something in the Tier 2 scene happen for them this year.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they've lost Nilo as well, right? Which was...
That's also very important to mention, yeah.
A massive factor here with the Metizport roster, because now I look at this team and I think, cool, you've got a group of strong, consistent, solid players, but who's your star? Adam B, I think, has to step into that star player role. You're not going to get that from Isaac. I mean, Plopsky has kind of been touted as maybe that player here now. I mean, remember, he was even calling for Metizport at one point after Jaquinho. Of course, that would be Hampus now, so Plopsky's been relieved of those duties, which probably could free him up to frag a little bit more. But I'm looking at Adam B and thinking, okay, we've seen how good you've been as an individual, how mechanically talented you were last year. Let's shift things up a gear. Let's see what you can do if you get even more support and even more to center stage.
Nice little boost up for Sound there, getting that M4 into the action as best they possibly can. Actually gets the opening kill. And BTN has found his counterpart too. Hampus to go down, and Ragnar will move forward with the MP9. Plopsky walking wounded should go down. They should have players caught looking the wrong way as well. Lumi will have to deal with Sound. That means he's distracted from Raga. Isaac is forced to fight, and Raga flicks round to take the quick fire headshot. That could have easily been a lineup 2K clutch there for Isaac. But good reactions from Raga. I think he's been one of the players that has been maybe underperforming slightly for this Nexus team. And he's had a number of important kills to help that round become a success for Nexus.
Can you imagine what a massive boost it's been for Nexus as an organization, and a massive boost for the motivation of their players as well, getting that VRS ranking that they did off the back of winning IESF?
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, we know we've got some really good invites. We know we're going to be in some big competitions. They're getting invited into playoff stages of CCTs at this point. So it's like, wow, we've got to work as the hardest we ever have before because of the opportunities we have presented to us. And there's been a lot of teams who have kind of, had some... They've ended up getting the short end of the stick with the changes, but Nexus Gaming are one of the teams that certainly come off better with the new changes, with the way that we approach the invites. Either way, it's going to be more of a brawl in towards middle, back and forth, blood drawn. Metizport prevail with the man advantage.
BTN's here on a decent timing, but he's not being exactly quiet about it, and there's one bullet that he needed on Hampus, but Hampus will get away with it. Again, Sound rotating in, but a Molotov for that brokey position that should ward him away from going for any sort of push. He's seen Hampus walk into the cubby of Long, but there's just no reason for him to face from there any longer. So, Sound is going to wander away with BTN and choose to save once again by the looks of things.
So we continue to trade rounds back and forth. We haven't actually had a single full gun round yet. We've only had these broken by investments so far. We're about to go into the 6th round.
Terrorists win.
I'm excited to see Hampus and Plopsky reunited as well. Of course, they played on NIP for a long time together. They actually got cut at the same time from the NIP roster, so they've been joined up here once again. By far and wide the most experienced players on this Metizport roster. Of course, Isaac has also done some very good work over the past few years. Certainly made a big name for himself, especially with that performance in Gamer Legion at the Paris Major, where they lost out to Vitality in the final. Last CSGO Major. I think Lumi is another player I look at with this Metizport roster and think, yeah, this guy could pop off. He could be one of the main fraggers here for this team.
As you say, like, I feel like they're in an okay place despite losing, like, 3 players. 2 have gone on to do great things, and 1 who's almost guaranteed to, it feels like, with Nyla, obviously. So, who knows how he's going to integrate into the heroic team once they finally do that. Tinner's been playing quite well, so that's a bit of an awkward situation, and perhaps awkward conversation that heroic might have to have. But one of these players will get called back to the bench for Nilo, but anyway, this round's looking pretty solid. So there's a forward buy coming in from Nexus, and Plopsky even spinning on a dime there. They've just basically won all their duels, creeping around the map. It wasn't really much to analyze on that one.
It's one of those rounds that could have played out completely differently when you look at the amount of damage that's been done. If 1 or 2 more bullets connect from a Nexus player in those gunfights, then maybe they get the kill, and that butterfly effect ends up actually changing the outcome of the round. But Metizport do come out on top of all of their gunfights. Adam B was the one who set things in motion, killing the player in Donut, and from there just forcing their way into the A-bomb side. I like the pace with which Metizport are approaching these rounds right now. They're certainly suffocating Nexus. They're not giving them any time in the round to compose themselves after things start to fall apart.
Yeah, when I was told that this was the game I was going to be covering today, I was actually relatively looking forward to it, because it's both these 2 teams are teams that I've seen them play a lot in the past, but I haven't really caught up with them properly this year yet. And yeah, Metizport, like, they're in an okay state for me right now. But as you rightly say, taking Hampus and Isaac felt like the most slam dunk options out there. I think Adam and Plopsky are still performing at a very decent level, and Lumi, like you say, can actually take over a game. He can be very solid, and it'd be curious to see how he progresses on the AWP in the future. But this is one of those games for Nexus that I still feel, in their eyes, in their heads, they'll feel like it's very winnable for them.
I feel like both teams will actually fancy their chances. Plopsky, how on earth is he still alive? That is,
I was about to say.
Insane. Oh, goodness me. And Sound, well, he's been found. One player who had a rifle to work with in the round here for Nexus has gone down. So Metizport, yeah, they're going to be able to get 3 rounds in a row coming through for the Swedish team. It's just about making sure they don't lose Swedish players in the process. Already good damage inflicted.
Yeah.
Should be the only 2 kills that come through there. Plopsky's already... Oh, no, he's in trouble. That's not Plopsky. Man, the HUD is catching me, Trav. The HUD is playing games with me.
Yes, true.
Because Plopsky is number 0. Oh, that's Isaac. Okay, never mind. I think my glasses probably just have to be renewed.
You're about to blame the HUD. I was. The HUD is crying right now. Everyone hug the HUD.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry, HUD. It was all me. I was acting out of pocket. I will work on myself and come back stronger. Honestly, though, I got my glasses 3 years ago. They were my 2nd or 3rd pair I ever had. And your eyes actually changed quite a lot over that period. So I think it is time for me to go back to the optometrist and get a new prescription.
I actually need my eyes done sorted out as well, because, like, I've noticed when I'm out that my right eye is a lot sharper than my left eye. When my glasses on, it's still the same. So I don't think my glasses are helping that with that anymore. So I think
we should go together, Trav.
Yeah, let's make it a duo, dude. Let's just get you to fly over to South Africa, or me to fly over to... Sorry, me to fly over to South Africa, or you to fly over to the UK. And
yeah, just to get our eyes done.
Yeah.
That sounds so romantic, honestly. I mean, Valentine's Day is coming up. So.
It is. It is. I think I actually might be casting on Valentine's Day, which is crazy, but...
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Counter-Strike is your true love right now, so that's kind of fair.
Yeah. Yeah. For the... What's the saying? What's the saying when you get married? For richer or poorer or something like that? I don't know.
Better or worse,
yeah,
sickness and health.
That's the one, yeah.
Counter-Strike is always there, man. That's what we love about it. And Trav, we're now going into our first full gun round here of the map. Our first full gun round. Orphan play for Zello. Rifles across the board outside of that. And Nexus, this is their map pick. If they lose... Oh, it's Metasport's pick. Never mind. But still, don't want to let this map get out of control too early on.
They're using... the smoke up toward B doors, of course, to go for some aggression. Hampus keeping an eye on it, but Sound is piloting this one pretty well. I don't think they're aware of the possibility of him getting in toward the cubby, and unfortunately, he's not got himself in toward that cubby in lane before the B door smoke fades. He gets caught very easily. Once again, Plopsky doing good work. And I feel like every time I've casted Plopsky, Matt, he always has a really good game, numbers-wise. Like, whether they win or lose. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm his lucky charm.
Yeah, a good omen for him or something like that. I feel like he certainly has improved in the fragging department since taking a step down and joining Metizport. Of course, he was used to that Tier 1 level for a very long time and almost took a bit of a gamble accepting the invite here to join Metizport, I think. Of course, he was in Godsend after NIP, but I feel like we've seen him kind of level up, right, in this roster here in Metizport. Take on, sort of shoulder more responsibility. He has a 1.12 rating in his time with, with Metizport so far. And, yeah, he's putting out the numbers right now as well.
I thought I heard you gasp there. I wonder what on earth you saw. Like a spider on the floor.
It was like a reverse burp kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. I've been there. Don't worry.
Listen, we've had short breaks between all our maps today. I've had to just shovel my food in.
Yeah, well, likewise. Yeah, that sandwich did not see the light of day that long.
Light of day for very long. Yeah, there we go. Bang on. Bang on. All right, well, 5-3. Couple players stay alive for the CT side there, so they could be compelled to drop some guns and go for another investment. But Metizport are in the groove.
Yeah, attack for Nexus. As you say, like, sure, maybe their VRS has been inflated quite significantly by the win at IESF, but taking advantage of it, eligible from opportunities like this now. Like, I read one of the failures of the VRS system is that if, for example, after winning IESF, they just didn't play anything and didn't lose some of the CCT games they played, the ones that are ranked, for example, they might have been, still top 15, even, rather than, top 30 or whatever they are right now. So
yeah, that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. So that just gives you an example of how many things need to be ironed out with the VRS, but there we are.
It'll take a while. It'll take some time. Until balance is restored to our universe once again. Metizport looking to try and pull ahead here. Tip the scales in their favor. If they can win this round, they take a big step in that direction as well. 6-3 would be 7-3 off the back of the anti-eco, assuming they don't slip up there. Some good change-ups in the approach here. Hampus is calling a great T-side, I must say. There's always something going on. There's always a direction. There's always a plan. And they're going to be pressuring Donut right now. Raga on the opposite side takes down Adam B. Desperately spraying away, running out of ammo. P2K comes out, but he's actually been able to stave them off and keep them at bay. BTN gets in on the act in the meantime as well. And Nexus Gaming find 2 opening kills here.
Raga has an absolutely massive view model. Maybe that's what helped him in that scenario. The gun is very highly drawn, and he'll get himself a 1-for-1 in the end. I don't have to fall back. Oh, it's very whiffy with the A1S though. Thankfully, Zello is on the scene. Otherwise, that round could have maybe gotten out of hand. It's only Lumi, 44 points of health with the AK to try and clutch. He tried to fake it out, but Sound was ready. And that's an important round for Nexus. And as you say, again, they might be in a position here where we wouldn't expect a team like this to make their way into these qualifiers to get invited, but we've got some good players on the team. They've got BTN, like we said, who's maybe not necessarily known for his output anymore, but has all those years of experience with this organisation. Zello on his 3rd stint as the AWPer of this team. Been on it for many, many a year. I think at this point maybe 8 years as well, just in separate stints since 2016. And yeah, I think Sound was a great addition, honestly. But Metizport here are turning up the pace a little bit toward A, and as you say, I actually really like the Hampus calls thus far. This one might not be working though. They're jumping around blind on the edge of Donut, and Adron's found Flopsky through the smoke as well. Raga peeks for more. Raga's got a triple. Suddenly out of nowhere, Isaac is 1v5.
I mean, it was looking so good there for Metizport initially on the entry into that A bomb site, but they actually all end up losing their lives and they don't find a plant. That's one of the rounds where if you're taking a snapshot 15 seconds into the round with Metizport all over A and one player planting the bomb in the smoke and you say, guess how the round unfolds, no one's guessing no bomb plants and Nexus win the round with keeping all 5 alive. That is a very good showing coming through from them. And it is a tight game now, leveled up scoreline. This is Metizport's map pick. Next up is Nuke, which has been a very reliable map for Nexus for a very long time. So if they can win on their opponent's map pick, they'll certainly fancy their chances to get the job done in 2. But as you mentioned in the pregame as well, I feel like this is a pretty level playing field in terms of the map pool across the board for both of these teams, Decider included.
Early round again. Metizport, their utility is not amazing. One smoke on Hampus alone. Nexus doing a good job of holding them at bay right now, but Metizport, they do still have control over the map. There's a nice little setup in Red Room, but not if you have 2 players clearing it in Hampus. To be fair, they had 3 players clearing it there for a second in Nexus, and the team with the numbers advantage in that position come out with a numbers advantage overall. Plopsky working his way through. Lumi's burnt out Adron though. Now Sound and BTN do need to be careful here. It's going to be an awkward position, but they do bounce off each other really well.
Yeah, I don't know if Metizport actually had to take those fights. I feel like they could have just swiveled onto the bomb sites and evaded those players towards long, and now they've ended up in a situation where they're not even guaranteed a bomb plant. Lumi feels compelled to go hunting here. Wants to try and find a frag before he even thinks about activating the bomb. Sound is watching for this at range with the orb right now. Lumi comes around the corner and nearly actually gets the collateral, but ultimately just a tag on BTN, and that's going to earn Nexus the lead.
A nice little turnaround, actually. Metizport felt quite in control and actually quite liked the things that Hampus were calling. And actually, even though Hampus is still, I think, calling well and getting his team into actually good positions across the map, they're not ending the rounds well. So, yeah, awkward situation. Now, at the risk of losing the first half 7-5, this is a weird bye to end off this half as well. 2 Mac-10s, Tech 9, Deagle, Galil. Faster B-play coming in.
Looks like it. We've got BTN behind the pillar, but a very good flash there. Completely obscures his vision just as they appear on his screen. Sound at range is going to lock it down, and Raga just forces his way into the equation as well. And then he gets out of dodge. Man, Nexus Gaming are playing some really solid Counter-Strike here in the later stages of this first half. Combining with each other beautifully. Great communication, fantastic synergy, good trades where necessary. Lumi the last left alive, and not for much longer either. Nexus recovered to win 4 in a row and make it 7-5 on the half.
If I heard that you 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 The way I live life. The way you do it. The way you do it. The way I live life. The way you do it. The way I live life. The way I live life. The way you do it. The way you do it. The way I live life. The way you do it. The way I live life.
Great little recovery from Nexus at the end of that first half, and I'll be pretty delighted where they stand right now. But the pistol round's underway, and Plopsky's already got off to an opening against Sound. So the bomb will herd its way in toward A, and they will be pretty surrounded pretty quickly, so they do need to try and get this one down ASAP.
Yeah, they're losing players in the process as well. At least they will be able to activate the bomb here at the bare minimum. Try and put some pressure onto Metizport, who don't have a kit. Adron's gotten in on the act as well, and Raggar's found himself another in the round. Plopsy's going to reposition here with his Julies, but there's a man advantage in play now for the C side. Hampus and Plopsky to try and combine, but this is just all Nexus Gaming right now. What a way for them to kickstart their campaign in the second half. And it's just about putting the finishing touches on the job. Plopsky, I mean, sure, a good kill comes through, but there's no kit, so this is just all a formality.
Actually, only HE was nice, but it wouldn't have taken either of them down. Both of them had Kevlar. Neither of them were squishy enough. And Raggar, 14-8. He was probably one of the players that I mentioned in the pre-game and a couple of the early rounds, which I wanted to see a little bit more from. And he's delivering brilliantly so far today. And he should be pretty proud of it. Nexus are now in an excellent position. Metizport, as an ancient team, right, have been willing to go into this map a lot in the past, with whatever lineup they've had. And it's turning into a bit more of a questionable map for them than one of their strengths, that's for sure.
I just got an interesting tidbit of information that caught my attention for a second. And that's that, I don't know if it's a rumor, so just keep in mind that it is speculation. Okay, never mind. I'm apparently not allowed to say anything yet. Alright, blue balls for everybody. Blue balls for everybody except you, Trav, because you get it on Discord. But,
Let's go!
If I get confirmation that I am allowed to say it, then I'll reference it on broadcast as well. Either way, focusing up on this round here at hand. This is a force buy from Metizport, and they've lost a number of rounds in a row here. Nexus Gaming are starting to pull ahead. They make it 9-5, then there's an anti-eco to follow. However, Plopsky has followed in Lumi's footsteps, and he's taken advantage of the fact that he hasn't actually been considered, but he can't find another kill. At least he's kept the numbers even.
And Adron realizes that there is space available over toward the A side of the map, but Isaac was watching for it, still couldn't find the kill, and actually Zello taking Hampus as well has totally confirmed this round. You would think now for Nexus, the bomb is going back toward B. That is the safe position. And I'm in a great area, great angle. Guaranteed a kill on Adron in the end. But now, he's got a clutch with no util and no kit. Does he push while Raggar is occupied with the plant? I think he will. Gives it a go, but Zello realizes that taking that fight would be the wrong move. And in the end, he jiggles with the angle enough to put Adam off, and Adam doesn't hit a single bullet. 9-5 Nexus. And yeah, I think they're very much in pole position right now.
Okay, so to fill everybody else in on the information, just because that's only fair, can't keep it to ourselves, Trav. And apparently Jaxi, who I think is the biggest Counter-Strike streamer in Romania, if I'm not mistaken, he's been doing watch parties and he's spoken about it already. So it is out there in the public domain. And apparently it's that Peacemaker is coaching Nexus. Of course, Peacemaker, the Brazilian coach who's been around for a very long time, but hasn't actually really been a name people have spoken about for the past, I don't know, 2 years, maybe. Of course, he was the most known for his time in, where he was in Complexity for a while, Heroic for a very long time as well. I guess that's probably where he did most of his work, but certainly been a well-respected coach over the years, has Mr. Peacemaker.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a pretty cool addition. And
Can he speak Romanian, though, Trav?
True.
Or is this like a Bad News Eagles and devil walk situation all over again.
Oh, it's a golden on saw situation and berry on saw, right? That was always
There we go.
was a funny one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think obviously these players can speak English. Just in the server, it'd be a bit more difficult as a coach. Maybe after the game, it can be a bit more simple just to, you know, talk slower and not have to feel rushed or panicked in any way, right? To find the English word for a situation. Edron is stuck bottom mid, but even if he loses the AK, the round is safe here for Nexus. Little update on the other games going on right now, of course. It's the second round of opening round matches in this qualifier. 3D Max have started well against the mix of Nevermore, 5-0 up. That should be an easy game for them. But on the other side of that bottom portion of the bracket, it's one that should have been an easy game that's not. Gamer Legion, I believe, are on the edge of losing the opening map to Hester, completely random open qualifier team.
What?
And I'm already seeing Ash posting crying, laughing emojis on Twitter and Rez posting clown emojis. So I
wonder what that means.
I wonder what that means. In the other game, Heroic are playing Zero Tenacity, and Heroic are currently up 8-7, just to give you an update.
Okay, well, good to get an update of what's going on around the grounds right now. Right here, focusing up our attention on this particular matchup because it's a vital gun round here for Metizport if they're going to stand a chance of actually fighting back in this game. I mean, they were somewhat in control, I think you could say, at one point here. Was it not 5-3 for Metizport, if I recall correctly? Half ended 7-5. I mean, Nexus are just in complete control right now, man. They're cruising across to victory here on Ancient as they find 2 great kills to open up this gun round.
I see someone in chat agrees with me that Ragger's view model is wild. Thank you, Oak Beach. I appreciate the support.
Well, he's 16-8 right now, so I'm not sure you guys are onto something either way. Oh man, Lumi can't afford to miss that, and the follow-up as well. Oh, it just feels like nothing's working out for Metizport as things stand. Sound is even going to just finish off the job in style, forcing his way through the long smoke kills both Lumi and Isaac, and Nexus Gaming dominate that all-important gun round.
Now that is worrying signs. We said that Lumi is one of those players that can pop off and actually look pretty good. I've seen it with my own eyes, but unfortunately today does not look to be one of those days. Thankfully, it's only the first map and he has a chance to bounce back, but yeah, those are some 2 rough misses, and now Nexus should be but a few kills away with Metizport on probably a half investment here with 3,500 per player.
Yeah, it's a tough position that they find themselves in. I mean, Nexus have won 8 rounds in a row to get to this point, but it's not like these rounds have been incredibly close. I feel like they've just been dominating this game ever since that 5-3 scoreline. Like, some sort of a switch has been flicked. I'm just going back and looking through the kill feed or the scorebots on HLTV, and I mean, Metizports have never gotten more than 3 kills in any of these rounds that they've lost, so they really have just been getting rolled over here by Nexus. They've decided to try and play for overtime.
Yeah, and I mentioned, like, without even looking at the win percentages, right, that this is one of the most middle ground maps, and it is, right? Like, they're both 50-50 in their recent games. But also, Metizport have only played it once this year, I think deserves to be said. That was against NIP in the Res Showdown event. So, and that was a 13-11 loss, so it was a very close game. But still, look at Nexus, they've been they've been in the same situation, and they've lost it to 9. So, like, both teams, as I said, being a middle ground map, they're both in a similar scenario, both having not played the map that much in this calendar year thus far. But definitely one of them coming out looking better so far today.
Oh yeah, I mean, you keep in mind that we're going to Nuke next, which has been such a good map for Nexus, not only talking about recent results, but just in general, it's been their bread and butter for, I mean, probably like somewhere around 2 years. They'll feel really good about going into Nuke next, if they can, especially if they can pick up the victory here on their opponent's map. Very calculated approach from them in the anti-eco, but they might be good at maths, but things are looking like they could be problematic here in this round, potentially pushing into a stack on this B-bomb side.
Only Needs to hit some deegs. He's got teammate support. It's going to be a really nice round to somehow find a way to win, to get himself back into the game, but I just don't think it's going to work out. You now know that Plopsky is one of the last players left around the site, but hang on, you're absolutely right. 10 seconds. Plopsky's still being here. Could be a big issue. They're going to have to kill him and get the trade somehow. BTN is now caught between two angles. It's an absolute nightmare. And surely Isaac just hides. He absolutely will. Oh dear, Nexus, what's happened there?
I think that they actually miscalculated that, because it looked like after BTN kills the player on ledge, he wanted to go A, but then decided there wasn't enough time. I think there was. I think there was just enough time for him to actually get onto the A bomb site and plant the bomb. They decide to try and go into B instead. Zello runs out with the pistol. BTN has the bomb out, so it's not like he can even get the trade after they've gone and crossed into the B site and Zello's died.
Yeah.
And that's a big let-off there for Metizport.
You're absolutely right. I mean, they were just sent into a panic there. A state of disarray. Just focusing so much on the bomb plant that they completely ignore the possibility of the second player on Metizport being in CT. Plopsky does so much work again. 15 kills now. And the utility for Nexus is really not in a great spot. Only got 3 players who have any at all. 1 smoke available, as the round now has reached 1 minute 20, so still a lot to do. Use a couple of their mollies to try and get deeper red room control going in toward Lumi. But that could be a lifeline for Metizport.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a massive lifeline for them, but they have to capitalize on it by winning this gun round here. They lose the round straight afterwards. It's just straight back to square one. Ultimately, it might even be worse, because it means they won't have any weapons to work with to try and stop Nexus from finishing off the job. And the job is getting done over towards the A bomb site right now. Good trades, good spacing. Bomb plant going to follow, and Metizport have to retake.
Plopsky, oh, he's again the main man. He's found 2 coming in from CT. Ragu and Adron couldn't play the trade-off of each other. And Plopsky has jump-spotted Zello in toward that donut position as well. Play on top of the box. That might put Zello off. There's no retake util anymore between these 2 teams. There's that 1 kit on Plopsky, and now he's forced into the open, but he's got the kill on Zello. I think it's all good. Wow, what a retake. They're cutting these ones fine in Metizport, but they're staying alive in this map. And while Nexus is still on 11, you always feel like you've got a shot.
Oh man, Plopsky's so huge on the retake there, getting those 2 kills initially and then just reducing it to the 2 players in Donut. Still looked a little bit shaky. I thought that Zello had actually noticed there wasn't a player sticking the defuse, and he went back for a reface there, and that's when he died to Plopsky. I think he may actually have spotted that Plopsky. I think, you know, he could have realized Plopsky wasn't sticking the defuse and then maybe just stayed behind the corner and forced him to tap the defuse again, but either way it works out for Metizport, and they'll be happy about that.
Plant, of course, gives Nexus still an ability to have a decent buy. Oh, that's a good catch from Lumi. First opening kill that feels really impactful so far. BTN will pick up the rifle. So still at least have 4 in play. Again, full lane control, and they're happy just to bide their time, stick with it with this lane control, but you also do feel like at some point they do need to find some more elsewhere. Oh, hang on though. It could be walking ramp. It's worked for Adam, but he will hop away with his kill.
Looking like they're getting better as the map is going on, though. You mentioned what a reprieve it was for them to win that eco. And they're taking advantage, full advantage of that opportunity that's been offered up to them. 3v5 now. And at least there's been some space offered up here to the T side through middle, but Lumi's watching this at range with the AWP right now. So it's going to have to be a big wide swing, and it's a good jump across. Were those legs even spotted? I mean, the steps will certainly be heard out by Isaac. He's touching the wall right now, but oh my goodness, Zello actually gets the trade in mid-air. It's going to create enough space for a plant at the bare minimum.
That was awkward. Zello lucky to get away with that. And they're both full HP. News makes no difference. No longer. The M4s will be a one-shot headshot now. They don't have, again, only have that 1 smoke, and now that smoke and kit is on the ground. BTN Taking down Plopsky. Metizport taking a long time about this retake. Lumi creeping forward, but it's a good off angle being held by BTN, but he wasn't able to get that kill straight away. It's down to the USP, and BTN couldn't get himself close enough behind the big box. And it's another close round one for Metizport. They are scraping through these particular rounds.
Yeah, it's the good old saying, it doesn't matter how they come as long as you get the job done. And the rounds are on the board here. Metizports are still alive to tell the tale. I wonder if Nexus Gaming are compelled to actually go for an investment here, considering they know that the CT side economy is still in the dumpster, but instead they'll go for a half buy. Metizport clawing their way back. Kind of similar to how the first half started off. It was very back and forth, very tight rounds being won up by both teams, could barely separate them. And Metizport now, they're winning these 50-50 rounds. But can they avoid the might of the Tech 9s?
Make sure they stay as a duo. Now that duo has been removed, and Plopsky's fighting for his life. He's scrambling, but he has gone away. With one more kill on Adron, that's pretty wild. Finally, BTN will run him down. He sees a player in cave, tries to ignore him and to make his way through, but Hampus will catch him. So that has totally changed the complexion of the game now. It's 11-9. The gap is only 2. And I do feel like Metizport are looking stronger.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, that's actually probably the first convincing round that they've won so far out of the streak of 4 that they pieced together. Nexus going to use their second timeout here, which makes sense because it's starting to get a little bit questionable. I mean, they were in a very comfortable position at 11-5, but not nearly as comfortable as it once was.
Yeah, and they, don't get me wrong, Metizport have scrambled for these rounds. They could have gone either way. Maybe some micro errors that you mentioned, right? There's very small things like Zello perhaps slightly over-peaking in Donut. When Plopsky got the defuse, BTN not getting himself hugging the big box close enough to stop Lumi from running him down. But Lumi's hit a number of important kills now after his whiffs from earlier. He stepped it back up. And this Metizport project, probably the best it's looked in a while if you're not going to have Nilo on it, that's for sure.
Yeah, again, the same question persists for me, though. Who's going to be your star? Is it going to be Plopsky? That's going to require something that we haven't seen from his throughout his career so far. Either way, Hampus looking to force his way forward early on. Raggar's doubled down. BTN doesn't expect a third player to be coming through, and Lumi is now hitting his shots indeed. Big difference maker coming through from him. Posted up on that bottom middle smoke. He'll get out in time. And he'll finish off the job as well, as Metizport romp to double digits, and Nexus are going to have to eco.
It's fallen apart for the Romanians, I'm afraid.
Which is peculiar, because it was looking so good for them. It was looking fantastic for Nexus in terms of the rounds that they were winning and how they were winning those rounds. And you've got to think back. I mean, there's been a couple advantageous situations they've let slip through their fingers. Especially that round where they ran out of time. They haven't won a round since then.
True. That was definitely the most awkward one. That's really what set Metizport off and running. That's why I said it's been scrapey, but a couple of 1v1s that they found a way after that. Nexus will be frustrated that could be the way they fall. Always feel like you have a chance when you're on 11, like I said, and it's really made a big difference now to Metizport. They're back in the game. They should be back even in a matter of moments. Sure, they've got control of the A-bomb site here, but there's no need for Metizport to rush into a retake. They only have a one AK on Raggar. They'll hop over the corner to check Donut. There's the information, but Utility's going to come over, and there was 2 players facing him. It baits Raggar into the kills, though. So he doesn't just find 1, he finds 2. He finds the second on Plopsky. 2 versus 3. If Zello finds a 1D, oh, it was close.
Oh, man.
It was close, but Raggar goes down, and Zello probably wouldn't have won it from there anyway. So 11 all, Matt.
11 all. Wasn't expecting to hear those words out of your mouth. Not in this map, at least. With Nexus having been up 11-5 at one point and looking as comfortable as they were. I thought they were on the final stretch, but Metizport has caught up to them. And it's actually trouble town now for Nexus. If they lose this round 12-11, no money, Metizport have a very good chance of finishing off the job. Whereas if Nexus win this round, they have to play against another full buy in the round afterwards. So Man, surely Nexus Gaming not going to let this map slip through their fingers in regulation. They need a lock in overtime at the bare minimum.
And like the fragging across the board for Nexus as well was very solid throughout the entire game, as you can see just by looking at it here. But they have just all cooled off, right? As a consistent 5, it feels like, and that's why Metizport have been able to wrestle back this advantage. It's now a lead in the game, 11-11, 5 versus 4. Make that, well, 5 versus 3
3
and 3.1 maybe.
Oh no, it's less than that. Yeah, 3.1. Right, sure, yeah.
Plopsky will get warded away from Jag with the wall bangs from Sound, but yeah, it's really impressive recovery from Metizport. It's one of their main maps that they've always gone to throughout the entire duration of this roster. So we're seeing some of the best of them on it right now.
Metizport were in a very good position earlier on in the round. They're taking deep control, and Nexus really had nothing to show for the round, but they are now just trying to force their way into this B bomb site. Zello taking a couple ticks to the molly. Plopsky eventually gets swung on by 2, and he's gone down. It's now on Lumi, who will indeed connect on the long shot this time round. 33 seconds on the clock. Bomb plant not going to come through. Isaac with the perfect lineup will deny.
The perfect lineup. There was you knew that trigger was being pulled as soon as we saw this crosshair was placed. So we'll plot somewhere a little bit safer, but there's just no way out of this one. He's going to get run down from 2 different angles. And the plant may have come through for a little bit of extra money in this round 24. But it's Metizport with map points, not Nexus. What a comeback streak.
Yeah, it's insane. This is absolutely remarkable. 7 rounds in a row coming through from Metizport to get their noses in front. Can they now finish off the job? Nexus Gaming have disappeared off the face of the earth. At least they were able to get a bomb plant there in that previous round to get some extra money going into this round. That means they'll have to subsidize their arsenal of weapons with a couple Galils, but at least overtime is still on the cards here for Nexus, Trav. I mean, if you lose 7 rounds in a row and you're still in a position to just win 1 round and have OT, that's a privileged position to be in.
I mean, Metizport get it done here and now.
That's the question.
It looks like they want to continue playing on the front foot as well. You can see they got the smoke down toward doors. Nexus realised they can just wander through it this time. I thought maybe they might have a couple of CTs to fight for it like they have in the past, but it's a little bit simpler on this occasion. Regular setups with Plopsky in Jag. And Rago and Sound could just peek this as a duo. If you creep through the smoke, that's the absolute anti of what you want to do, though.
What's going on there then? He scooped up some utility as well, going to deploy the molly. There's more where that came from here for Plopsky, and he's going to realize that as well. Oh, that's a very questionable approach from Sound in such an important round.
I don't see the reasoning behind that. You have to assume someone's behind that smoke. Now they can double set up in cave with Adam looking through the gap to check the ramp push. And then have a 1 player up, 1 player down elevator setup if they go through Jag in the end anyway. Right now it's only Raga to look like he wants to do that. Now holding it pretty confidently. Has to switch back. Actually takes a lot of damage, does Adam there. Fair play. Has to get 1 and hop away. He's done well to keep himself alive. This is a big shot for Lumi, and he's missed it. Adron's taken the kill. And now 3v3, bomb down, kits available, smoke and a flash available, but Adam walking wounded. They should know that as well.
That's a big gunfight for BTN to win, though. That's a huge gunfight to deal with one of the avenues of entry into this B-bomb site. And Adron's going to have great timing on the Swingler and Isaac. Okay, Nexus have saved the day. They were in complete control of 11-5. Then the map slipped through their fingers to 12-11 in favor of their opponents. But they will win the last round of the half, despite Sound's best efforts to inflict otherwise. And that means they've been able to force it into overtime.
That did not look likely, gotta say. They were kind of stagnant had no ways through on their T side. But that slight error made in that cave position, especially like, you know, when sound went down, we thought it was kind of done. But the fact that Adam only got the trade with such little health to spare in that position, that was the issue.
I think that Hampus should have waited a little bit longer for his teammates to try and take the attention away from Ramp as well. I think if, you know, maybe Adam B in cave or the player retaking from short can just try and puff up his chest a little bit, maybe that creates more space for Hampus. Either way, that's in the past. We shift back into the present. Plopsky's the first one to die here in the round. That's the crown jewel removed already.
Isaac will take a few pot shots there to show his presence and then rotate round immediately. They are smoked off on Donut. The bomb is waiting outside main, but I think it may be turning back around now because of the positioning of Sound. He's got his 1 kill toward B, as you can see, around that lane area with the X on the minimap right now. And it's only really Adam here to stop them from pushing forward, so he needs to get 1 and survive somehow. Just like he did the round before, but try and get it cleanly. They do have a bit of utility to maybe block this off as well. For flashes to force him into the open, and it does actually push his crosshair off the angle enough. Sound gets his second kill with 1 health to spare. Nexus to turn this around.
Well. I mean, you know what? I guess at this point, Nexus won't mind how they come. If they can win the map, they'll be happy with that. Plopsky kind of going searching at the start of the round there, maybe trying to force things a little bit too much. Cost him his life. Nexus Gaming keep things simple and direct from there. Regaining the lead here. Would you call this a fake comeback if Metizport lose the game in OT?
Terrorists win.
Sure. Sure, because like it's funny, right, Matt? We have our Hayes' rule, Hayes' law, right?
Yeah.
Metizport probably should have won the first round of OT. Is that right? If we go by
That's what
Hayes'
the
law,
law suggests.
okay.
Yes. But because it was just so out of whack, the calibration, because it was like 11-5 and then 12-11, the law just falls out of balance at that point. This is just not normal life.
Well, there you go. Fair enough.
This is one of those anomalies, man. I don't know, man. I've got to try and find some sort of an explanation.
We all do, mate.
I normally just don't reference it if it isn't actually the case. I'm inconsistent like that.
Fair enough. Plopsky using his util to try and go for a fight as they make their way up to a B again, giving Sound a lot of space. Lumi's done well to find Adron, but he's got a chance to move forward here. They've got no idea he's in this position. Thankfully, Plopsky will then advance past the angle to make sure he goes down. They were kind of back to back for a second there, neither really knowing what was going on. So, Metizport recover a 4v3. Zello and BTN still around the site. Unfortunately, now they're the only 2 remaining. Zello looking to try and clear angles. It's a lovely first, but he didn't see the next player on the angle. So now it's just BTN, the captain.
Well, back and forth, we continue to go here. It was looking very good for Nexus initially on their executes into the B bomb site, and I thought Sound's deep position on short would have worked out very well for him, but Metizport do well to actually kind of wrestle control back. However, BTN has a very good read here right now. Knife out straight into the A bomb side. He's not even going to second guess it now. He's just going to go knife out onto the side, plant the bomb, and then have a red hot crack at the 1 versus 2.
Now, where does he put himself? He knows it's very likely that Metizport will have util and kits. So, there's a chance here, if he hears what's going on, maybe he goes for... Oh no, it's too late now. I think maybe he goes for a full rotation red room. Yeah, that's what I wanted him to do, and he's doing it now, but maybe it's a second too late. Yeah, he's going to come back. So, let's have to worry about Donut. That's the only thing they need to worry about. Usually they expect a player to be made with that bomb plant position, and BTN, oh, he got his 1, but he just couldn't retreat back round the corner again. That could have maybe won the round via the bomb explosion if he hid for a little bit longer, but their first kill was a little bit too long to get. You know, it's a good trade.
Exactly. Yeah, good work there from Lumi to at least finish it off. Thought Lumi might be getting in his head a little bit after we saw him miss a number of shots in consecutive rounds, but he certainly got his head back in the game here, having some important contributions in these rounds that Metizport are winning. And the scoreline has been leveled up here once again. You mentioned you kind of build this as a very evenly contested game, and it certainly is delivering in that fashion so far. Who gets the lead now going into the second half?
I think Plopsky is a very good Jag player, from what I've seen from him. Not just in this particular map, but all the other Metizport games I've seen. Isaac, he used to defend. Everyone praises him as a very good anchor, and he's got 2.5 from that back box position. That's pretty good from there. Adam now rotating in. Trying to use that smoke as a veil. Ragga did get caught, and there we go. I was going to say, it was going to fade. He wasn't aware of the timing on that one, Ragga. That's a bit of a misstep, and now Zello is forced to walk forward, and he's got the bomb, by the way. That's not going to work for you. Round over.
Yeah, I just have no idea what Zello's even thinking there, to be completely honest with you. That just seems futile. Surely not a third for Adam in this position. BTN, can he eventually get the trade? Yeah, sure, but he's taking a lot of damage in the process, and you haven't actually picked up the bomb, yeah. He's still got some time to navigate this one with no further utility, and he's actually taking a big chunk of damage from that nade. That's going to make life so much more difficult for him. Nuke will spot him on the cross, but BTN hits the shot, and he's actually able to avoid the burst there from Plopsky as well.
What the hell? He's living a charmed life right now. How is he not dead? He's picked up a smoke off the ground. Everything is going the right way for him. But surely he can't pick up the bomb and get it on the site. He's waiting for Plopsky to use as many bullets as possible. Oh, he's got away with it. 9 seconds. Bomb will now go down. That smoke is going to fade at some point. And Plopsky, suddenly, he's in a difficult clutch.
No.
The little right-click
Not
flash.
like that.
He got himself blind, but still connects the bullet required. Oh, BTN's done everything right there. But Plopsky still wins it.
I mean, it's just ironic that he's missed so many shots through the smoke initially, and then the one little burst he does get is when he's completely blinded himself. Imagine what a massive sigh of relief he feels when he actually regains his vision and he sees in the kill feed he's killed his opponent, because it's not like there's anybody else alive on the server that can be like, bro, you got the frag. Like, nobody would have known watching his POV in that moment. So, yeah, that's quite ironic. Metizport, well, they've got a narrow lead now going into the second half of OT.
Goodness, that was a bit speedier. Nexus trying to remind themselves what worked on their CT half, of course, and already the round's been barely played any length of time at all, and it's down into a 3v3. Make that a 3v2. That is a lovely shot from Zello, and he gets away with Plopsky on 1 HP. I have to be mostly Lumi to pick up the slack here.
Yeah, it's not a very healthy looking Plopsky right now. I wonder if they're going to be compelled to actually swap weapons. This is an important gunfight. Lumi steps into the scope of Zello and he comes off second best, and that's round over. Nexus Gaming going to level up the scoreline here once again. Big arm wrestling towards middle. It always felt like that was going to dictate the outcome of the round.
It's the meta on Ancient, isn't it? I mean, it's almost like Inferno Banana. It's just that all the utility will always get chucked there nearly every single round if you want to fight for it, or if you just want to leave it as well. If you want to fight toward that position, you get the molly and the nade and the smoke up to force the teams to have to run through it and use their flashes to fight. If you're not fighting for it yourself, you still put the utility down, then strafe back to Donut or the Cubby. It's always been that way. Of course, it does feel like a very puggy map these days, of course, with the spawns and how they are. Very speedy way you can work your way up. And Hampus, well, he says hello. There's still more there where that came from, though. The mid-fight happens again and again. A bit differently, though, this time, with that shell fight coming through. But 3v3, same result.
Yeah, again, another skirmishing towards middle between these two teams, wrestling for that control. And it's going to be Metizport who come out on top, unlike the previous round. Plenty time to play with as well. So it can kind of happen in some of these rounds where you have these massive early fights, and then the round simmers down for 30 or 40 seconds. As Metizport starts to take a little bit of shape here. Nexus Gaming leaning in towards this B bomb site, back to back between BTN and Sound.
Oh, that's... Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like it's going to work out. Yeah.
Didn't even look like he actually reacted initially. Isaac certainly reacting perfectly, though, to everything that pops up on his screen. That's a quad kill coming through from him here in OT to get his team up to map point.
Well, what a ridiculous game. Nexus, big lead. Snuffed out. Now maybe it won't be a fake comeback. We've got another opportunity at 15-14. Looks like we're going for the...
One chance to finish off the job.
Yeah, I think we're going for the mid-fight again. Right-click smoke to try and get themselves out. And this time, as I said, they're not really fighting for it as much as they did before. Zello's got nades to use, though. Oh, this is glorious. He's not just found one, he's found two. Playing with that smoke in red room, using his util to perfection. That is the expertise of Zello we've seen for so many years.
Looks like, as a result, we could be going to double OT. Unless Isaac, Lumi, and Plopsky can find a way to try and recover, and Zello's had his head ripped right off. That could kickstart the round here. Still time for Metizport to play with. They don't have to force the issue too much here. Nice deep smoke from BTN. Blooming on the inside of cave there means there's nothing for the T's to work with if they try and phase through, and they'll be very worried about a CT maybe playing around that smoke as well.
Yeah, right now it's just a case of trying to make Nexus feel uncomfortable. They know this has been taken. They're going to want to go looking for it. The Sound's going to charge his way in to try and get the kills, but now they know it's only BTN on the site, and he's not going to be that healthy. That nade could just remove him. One bullet through the corner of the site, and Plopsky finds it. 2v2. Adron and Raga. Adron already here. Raga now rotating in. They'll now know that Adron's there because they'll hear that tick in the flames. Plopsky will push forward, trying to take point for his team. 29 kills on the board, looking for 30. He's going to find the 30. And while he does that, Lumi finds Adron. What a recovery from Metizport. That game was wild. And they get away with a 16-14 on their map pick. Just.
Oh, man, and a 5 versus 3 in the last round to finish it off as well, where they didn't really have anything going for them, because Zello picks off 2 in middle through that red room smoke, and he gets his team a 5v3. And
obviously, now we go into the modern 2025 era of Counter-Strike. They've played 1, they've lost it. That's all you can really sort of write home about. When it comes to Metizport, again, they did play some toward the end of last year, but it's a different situation for them now too. And they haven't played a single one this year, so... it's tough. If I was to pick a team to win this map, I actually would say Nexus. I think they actually have looked a little bit better historically, whereas Metizport have looked a bit shakier historically. So I'm going off previous maps, which may not have some extra bearing, perhaps. But let's see. They're on the T side to start, of course, as it's their pick.
yeah, Metizport, can they continue that momentum from the end of Ancient into Nuke? That is the big question here to start off the second half. Nexus taking their time. They're going to start to throw some smokes towards outside. Do they complete the wall of smokes? No, it's just one smoke and a flash over the top, and they can use that deep smoke to cross into secret if they so choose. But no, they'll continue to take fights outside. Not entirely sure how advisable that is, but it's worked out perfectly because they've pulled all the attention away from ramp to force those fights outside, and they've just walked their way down ramp into this B-bomb site for free.
Plopsky. Oh, lovely shot on Sound. No chance whatsoever. No reaction to even the door opening. And Adams found Raga as well. Suddenly this round is back on. Zello 1 HP with that P250. They're going to try and play double doors together. And we get one up toward the glass as well. That control room area. Plopsy's now going to try and hold it, but it's still they're still unsure. They want to go for the fights. They want to hold it. They want to tap it. But in the end, it actually just does draw Zello into the open, and the 10-second defuse will be in good time. Great retake from the Swedes.
I mean, they actually make it look incredibly easy as well. Some very nice shots being landed there from Plopsky, Adam B, and Lumi also getting in on the action as well to make the retake happen. I mean, Nexus Gaming, they had the red carpet rolled out for them down ramp into that B site, but can't lock it down on the post plants. And like I said, Nexus Gaming are going to be fairly frail right now just because of the way that they ended up actually losing on Ancient. And so, you know, losing 1 or 2 more rounds like that where you feel like you absolutely should have won them can probably just cause them to fall apart a little bit quicker here than normal. job to do at ramp right now. He has got some support coming through as well. He's going to be able to mow them down. Brilliant 2 kills coming through, an assist on the third. Lumi and Plopsky both arrive on the scene. And all of a sudden, it's only Zelo left remaining. Complete polar opposite side of the map to where all the action went down and where the bomb has been dropped as well. And that's a good statement round win coming through from Metizport, because this was against the Force Buy.
Yeah, that's perfect. Zelo forced to fall back and save. He's got a whole minute to save as well. So what do you even do right now? Just talk about strats for the next round? I feel like that's your only option.
Basically 2 tack timeouts. A minute to sit and wait here. And it's not like there's going to be much to discuss about that next round either, because that's going to be the full eco. Probably still trying to figure out where Ancients actually went wrong. Alright, well, what is the plan going to be? Don't expect much out of the next round, like I said.
I think for Metizport,
to the
I just wanted to say, yeah, I think the question for me on this map is how well they're going to look on the T side more than anything. I trust in their CT setups quite a lot on this map, and I think they have really good players for the roles and that I expect to see. But yeah, I feel like right now they're in their T sides is something that I would be a little bit more concerned about, because I think Isaac has always been an excellent anchor, and Ramp has so many, and sorry, Nuke has so many positions like Ramp, like the A site, which you can really deliver on. I'm actually curious to see if he ever changes position on the CT side, or if it is just going to be mostly in that Ramp area the whole half. We'll see.
Yeah, I reckon he will be. I reckon he'll probably be a pretty mainstay here towards ramp. And then Lumi and Hampus will be the 2 floaters around the map. Hampus probably going to be the outside rifler. Either way, got to make sure that they don't end up getting too loosey-goosey here against the pistols. And Hampus says, mate, don't you worry about a thing. He is cleaning up right now. A very early pivot from him down ramp through secret and then fighting outside. Nets him 4 kills. Adam B finishes off the job. It's a flawless round from the CT side as we head into this first gun round. This is the round we're looking towards right now here. Does Zelo only have a Desert Eagle,
That's
or
what...
is there a gun and spawn for him? Oh man,
yeah.
He only has a Deeg. How's that happen? Did he have a hero gun in the previous round? I didn't notice.
I was going to say, like, I was thinking that maybe the economy was not in a good spot.
Oh, you know what it was? That he stayed alive in the second round.
Yes.
When he saved his Galil.
No loss bonus there. But obviously, that was probably the right decision for what buy they had in the round after, right? But
was it? Because it meant all he had was a Galil to work with around a full eco. So
yeah.
It's not like it really improves the chances all that much. I don't think the trade-off's worth it to have a Deeg in the first gun round to have a Galil in your full eco.
You know what? I've changed my mind and I agree with you.
Oh, yeah, I got him. I won him over, guys.
Lopsky, headshot angle, in the double doors. That's awkward when you don't have an AK. Only Dink's available, and San will punish him and pounce to grab that kill. And will now go down in the regular position for Raga. Of course, very low HP now. Zelo tagged down as well. That's why Isaac wants to peek a little bit more aggressively. That nade might take the kill. It's a bit deep. Oh, only needed an extra 5 HP to take him down. Maybe a left-right click nade would have maybe taken the kill instead. And even though they're sort of walking wounded across the map right now, none of them is healthier than 40 HP. They're finding a way.
Yeah, and Metizport obviously don't have confirmation on the damage that's been done, so they're just going to bunker down and save their guns. Nexus, get themselves on the board here. I think that Plopsky probably should have fallen back after taking contact towards the double doors. I think that that's normally the protocol, is that... Oh, how many survive? Okay, 3. Fair enough. But I think Plopsky, after he gets the dink, he had an opportunity to maybe knife out, jump back around the corner, head up to control room, maybe fake shoot a window open, just try to stay alive for a little bit longer. I think staying in that position was a death sentence.
I agree with you, because like you see some players play that position very differently to that, right? Like you see them maybe even have the door open and jump spot with the door open and just jump above the little edge of the stairs and the door. That gives you information. You can then hop back away towards the site itself. Of course, I guess he was in a tough position when he would have been swarmed at some point, but maybe he could have kept himself alive a little bit better. All good though. Let's look at the buy in the next round. I think it would have been hard for him to multi-frag at all at in that position.
Well, let's see if we can find some multis in this round. Will multis be necessary? Hampus draws first blood. There's the smoke open as well, and that's going to allow for Isaac to get in on the action. You were wondering if he was going to be floating around the map, and because Lumi has his AWP ramp, that's allowed for Isaac to actually pad up the defense outside, but there's a good response that's come through here from Nexus after losing those initial couple of players.
Zalo and Raga. Again, funnily enough, I think last round they had 2 players on 37 HP. And they have the same here. Someone give them a medi shot. But now it's only Raga left. That massive view model. It may be cooked, chat. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Reminds me of an AK in like Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I think
Looks enlarged.
I think Hampus might have a good idea of where he's playing from, and they're waiting again. 10 seconds on the clock. Okay, maybe they don't know entirely, because they're just going to walk into him right now, and they got the kill anyway. Thought maybe they had an idea that he was holding that position to save, and might have just waited for the timer to expire and then pounce after time to try and punish. But, all good. They get the kill either way.
Alright, well, Metizport get themselves back to winning ways as a result. That's going to reset the economy here for Nexus. And, I mean, I kind of want to go back to the point of 11-5 in favor of Nexus. Metizport won that map 16-14. So they won 11 rounds from that point, while Nexus won 3. You add to the tally what we've had here on Nuke so far, that means that Metizports have won 15 rounds, while Nexus have won 4, Trav, since that 11-5 scoreline.
That is crazy.
15-4, essentially, since that point.
And not good. Nexus, yeah, I mean, I said Metizport I think could struggle on the T side, but if Nexus struggle as much, then it won't make any difference, will it? Only one on the board, and it wasn't exactly the cleanest in terms of the duels they took, obviously. They all were walking wounded at the end. Those can go either way. Pathing wasn't terrible, but it's always difficult. Isaac will eat 2 flashes with that big off angle. That's the last thing BTN will check. These pistols are just looking for fights across the map, and they're not getting any favourable ones, I'm afraid. Adam B does well. He gets 2, and there's Plopsky with one of his own. Adam will finally get found. He was on 1 HP after those 2 fights he won, but Lumi's in position, and that is 5 for Metizport, looking very clean across the board. I said their CT is usually pretty decent, and I'm impressed with how well they're sort of flowing around the map right now.
Yeah, this has been dominant from them. They've been very clean in these rounds that they're supposed to be winning, and now I think this is the first real concern for Nexus if they lose this gun round here, because then it feels like the map is getting away from them at a rate of knots, and they do not want to let that happen. Just look at the kill count across the board, Trav. What, 9 kills? 9 kills for the entirety of the Nexus team in 6 rounds. That is abysmal. They have to up those numbers. Plopsky upping his numbers. Good frag found, and they're going to combine with the aggression from Ramp.
That nade, if Raga was still there, he would have been a dead man as well. That was a lovely crunch. It's not really breakfast time. That would have been the earlier games, but I love a bit of lobby crunch. Hampus will get the quick trade on sound as well as he tried to work his way through. Just trying to fly himself up into the position to get an easier trade. And now, BTN and Raga, they've both got util. Smoke available on BTN. 2 mollies available too, but With Raga walking wounded and BTN, he shouldn't be expected to have to clutch these. Tough
I think
situation.
they've got a path down to this B bomb site right now. Because Lumi with his AWP has just cleared outside. He's going to head back in towards B, but an AWP's not really an ideal weapon to have in this position of the map. See, it kind of looks a bit awkward right now as he heads in this direction. It's not like there's going to be any immediate rotations either. This will give up the info, though. He'll hear the util coming through, and BTN actually spotted Lumi out. Oh, man, just narrowly misses out from the next shot. Smoke to cover the planter,
Ooh.
and a good molly to combine with that as well to protect the planter.
Yeah, that actually means they can set up in some after-plant positions now. I didn't think they'd even get into this spot with where they're at in terms of the health. But util has been superb. I mentioned it was the one thing on their side, and they have looked really solid with that. Dragon now realises that most of the focus coming through single door, though, and he can't get away from the fire and flames or the enemies coming his way. It's BTN bursting away with the kill, but he realises this is just unwinnable from here and would rather keep his gun.
Yeah, that is incredible work coming through there from Metizport in terms of how they piece the retake together. Hampus is having a field day of it. He's 9-1 right now. Kind of unfortunate there for Raga, stuck between a hot and a hard place, I guess. Didn't really have anywhere to go. Would have died to the flames.
That
Had
works.
he stayed there, he would have died to the gun. And yeah, thank you. I thought so as well. And then BETN was also just mollied out and forced to save his gun. 6-1. At least there's a bomb plant for this T side. But Metizport are looking really solid here so far on Nuke.
Incendiary from Hampus, realising that the nades they have available might not catch them on the cross, but timings on them are pretty good. Should see a player crossing now, and Raga shadow advantage there is huge. And a Hampus! Oh my god, he's just luck-shotted Zello behind Raga. That is ridiculous. It never rains, but it pours.
I mean, he wasn't having a good day already. He's 11-1 now off the back of that little multi-kill. Now they're going to try and make their way down secret in towards the B-bomb site.
That's better.
Klopski's learned from his mistakes. Yeah, that's a far more conservative approach.
Yeah. Oh goodness, as I said, like 11-1, they're already dead. Hampus. That's just rude. Sound and BTN are sure down in this position together, but Plopsky on the line, Isaac on that advanced angle in the corner of the railings, and Plopsky set up. It's a perfect read. It's 7-1. And Nexus on a map they do like playing, even if it's not had great success against higher tier opposition. They're getting schooled right now.
Yeah, but I wonder how much of this is a result of what actually happened on Ancients and how they fell apart on that map after being up 11-5 and then losing around because they ran out of time. I feel like they've never actually properly recovered from that. Zello is 2 for 6, and half of them are forcing, half of them are saving here, Trav. I think Metizport have broken Nexus. It's not like it's one hero rifle. 2 of them have forced, 3 of them have saved.
What is that? Is this an advanced BTN 8 years of experience technology that I'm not aware of, or
is this just silly buggers?
Maybe the latter. Right-click smoke for Adam. Right-click nade. Spots Raga on the corner. But does well to hide himself in that corner before he makes his way onto the side. And this may still have an opportunity to get some damage, but Isaac blind gets 1 kill, even a second as well. Adam will eventually go down, and BTN has done amazing work to find 2 from there, but he's being tagged down so low. And how many rounds have we had where Nexus, they've been up in an even or maybe slightly advantageous position, and they've been just so low. 30 health between them, and Hampus needs 1 bullet, doesn't find it. Lumi should charge him with the pistol, and he's doing exactly that. BTN trying to plant 3 kills on the round, but there's the dig, there's the round, and there's 8.
Yeah, that is a very good challenge coming through from Nexus and BTN in particular, but unfortunately they can't find the final kill to get full side control there. Looked like they got shut down initially, but they found a way to try and persist with the A bomb site, but the rotations flood through. Hampus is 13-2 right now. I think he's probably equal to the total kill count for Nexus. Maybe not quite 6, 11, 15 across the board for the entire Nexus team in 9 rounds. 8 in Nexus, they're running out of time. I mean, 8-4 would still be something to work with.
Yeah, sometimes, like, as a team, you can almost feel like it's hopeless when it really isn't. Especially Anubis, right? You can get run over, like, 7-1 to start because it's a T-sided map. You can feel like you're just not able to do a thing. But you grab 4 or 5 at the end of the half, and kind of favoured after that. It's pretty crazy. And a good run in here from BTN. You can see they had some form of an okay buy in the following round, right? Again, it's weird money decisions. It's enough for what they had, and they might still win the round with what they had. So, fair enough.
Well, there has to be more where that came from, Trav. They've won a round already in the half. They lost the round straight afterwards. They cannot afford for that to happen again. I mean, even 9-3 will be very difficult for them to recover. But you are right. I mean, if they can win these last 3 rounds of the half, make it 8-4, at that point, that is very doable. That is recoverable. Things can change so quickly in a game of CS2, I feel.
Are they going for this? They're on the,
Oh,
they're
wait,
on the
they're
defuse.
sticking the defuse.
They're on the defuse.
They're on the defuse.
There's a player
No way,
covering.
surely not, right?
Oh, they
No!
won the round. No, I was just thinking about how they were going to play for exits, but Isaac got in position. Oh, Matt, the late retakes on the A side of Nuke, we've seen it before. It can catch teams off guard.
Yeah. I thought all they were doing was just trying to run back into A to pull Nexus back into the bomb side to inflict maximum damage because of how much money they have on the CT side, but no, there was way more going on than that. They were on the defuse, and the defuse came through in time, but I wish we had a replay because it looked like the Nexus player who came through from Hut had an opportunity to get the kill on the diffuser, but I think he whiffed.
I think also he's distracted by the low HP player. Again, I'm not sure which Metizport player it was, but it was the one in front of Hut, right? He was 1 bullet from death, but he wasted an extra half second, and that was enough to get Isaac the defuse. Incredible. We said earlier it never rains but it pours. Well, certainly right now for Nexus, it's raining cats and dogs right now.
Yeah, that's a disaster. I mean, that's basically the end of the world for Nexus. Okay, maybe a little bit of hyperbole, but still, that's a massive round for them to lose. That was a very good job from them to get in the position that they did. But one which they are not able to capitalize on. Zelo, no, it's Sound rather, into Secret very early on in the round here. Oh, 9-1 backside. I can't believe how Metizport is broken the back of Nexus again.
Hampus 15-3, loving life. Isaac, advanced angle, elevated angle. Taking Zello. Adrian will get a trade, and Lumi will be spotted towards CT. Will be forced back away, so finally Nexus have something maybe to talk about, but Plopsky's just dropped down the vents and found Sound. Sound was not healthy, but Plopsky shouldn't be allowed to get away with that so cheaply, it feels like. They're going to try and get the bomb planted, but double doors could be opened at any point. Ragger's going to try and cover. Ragger's just spinning on the top right now. He's looking towards single, he's looking toward double, he's looking everywhere to try and protect that plant. And he might be forced into a duel here with 2 in towards single. Adron's in the open. Hampus will catch him on the corner as well. BTN, the Romanian captain of Nexus, stuck toward ramp. Lumi finds that one. Oh, it's so comfortable right now.
I mean, at least a good bomb plant, but that's just nothing worth celebrating at this point here for Nexus. A very good retake, good composure. You could see there was a clear plan throughout there in the retake for Metizport in terms of how they set themselves up. It's not like the guys who are already on the bomb site were trying to deny the bomb plant. They give up the plant because they favor waiting for their teammates so that they can all retake as a unit. And it works out perfectly because Lumi, that extra player to help out Hampus at single door, was the reason Hampus doesn't get overwhelmed. And that's really the catalyst for the retake for Metizport.
Smoke will go up, but Lumika is still timing a shot. He won't though, and actually, the angle Sound was pushed through on actually could be a decently timed one. He's going to be in toward Mini pretty quickly here. Hampus is on the scene, but Raggers found the opening toward Adam. Is there finally something to talk about this Nexus T side? They've completely run over the A-bomb site. It was a pretty simple execute as well, with some just good timings working out for Sound outside. Even if he doesn't get any kills, he just was being an issue. And He even gets that one to basically confirm it as well. It's Lumi 1 versus 5 to end the half. It's a ridiculously good half for Metizport. I'm pretty impressed, but at least there'll be something for Nexus to talk about to end it off. But you'd think Metizport will find their 2-0 after the break.
From 11-5 on Ancient, Metizport have done incredibly well to fight back, win the map there in overtime, and then take a monstrous 10-2 lead here on Nuke as well. 3 rounds away from getting themselves into the second round of the upper bracket, where they'll be just one best of 3 win away from Dallas. However, doesn't look like this pistol round is going to be going too well for them.
Oh, it's a really lovely start for Zello. A quiet game otherwise. That's good for him. Ragor will get a little bit of a cheeky shoulder from Minion. There's a flash outside, and that is perfect from Adron to get him into the angle. It's Popsky now caught very much between a red box and Ragor. Ragor with a man to remove him, of course. It's a lovely pistol for Nexus, but it's a long way back. I did say that I would question Metizport's T side more than their CT side. We'll have to see if that is going to come to fruition here. Maybe we have another comeback on our hands, but it's a long way away yet.
It's a long way away indeed. I mean, it's at this point, you got to win the pistol, convert against the full eco. That's the easiest objective on the list that you're going to check off. Then it's the gun round after that. You win those rounds, you get 10-5. Anti-eco gun round 10-7. At that point, you're still chasing the game. So going to be a very difficult recovery here for Nexus. But if they want to avoid that lower bracket that currently looms, then they're going to have to find a way. Metizport were able to do it from 11-5 and got up to 12-11.
Clean round, though. Very important to win those with all 5 up, especially as you've invested 4 M4s into that one, right? Only gone for the 1 MP9. Hopefully not losing a single player. So, Metizport's gun round now in play. They've got 3 Molotovs. They've got 2 smokes. Make that 5 across the board.
Well, let's see
full
what
investment
has
in.
Hampus got up his sleeve.
Outside smokes. Are we going for a normal A execute? Are we doing something a little bit more special? Let's see.
Pretty standard here. I mean, at least in terms of 4 players outside, 1 inside. Because either control lobby. But it's an opening
That's
kill
big.
found on Zelo. Did he have an AWP? He had a rifle. That's a very big opening kill, because look at the amount of space that creates. I say that at the same time, there is Sound who's in towards Secret already, so it's not like Metizport can extend too far here without taking another fight.
I'd like to see Sound maybe push up a little bit. Of course, you're so wary of just getting deleted in that position if you push up towards the stairs of Secret, but you kind of need information right now. BTN's going to have really good timing on 1, but he's going to need 2, and they're all above him and all around him. And then we'll get the trade. Keeps the 4v3
And they only know of 1.
intact, and now on the A bomb site, Adron has got a lot on his plate coming in here. Hampus will bank the flash, it fails, and it blinds up both of his teammates. That is awkward. Don't worry, Hampus, it's not like the entire stream was watching. Finally, he'll get a flash down onto the site, and he'll try and tap down the vent player. Mag is doing well to stay alive, though. He took Plopsky in the meantime as well, so actually, this round is falling apart, but now the kills come through finally. Adam and Hampus with 1 apiece. It leaves Sound to clutch, who was, of course, originally that Secret player.
Oh, he's going to throw a nade here. They didn't know where he was coming through from, did they, as far as I know? Certainly has given up that information now and hasn't resulted in a kill for him. Now he's going to have to go for a Hail Mary, flash up the ladder, but Hampus gets the kill, and it looked like it was just going back and forth throughout the round. Started well for Metizport, then there was a good response from Nexus, but eventually Hampus and Adam B combine. And Sound, am I mistaken, Trav? Did they know he was coming from ramp? I don't think that they did.
They knew he was a Secret player. That's all that, or they at least they knew that he was around that area earlier on. So I think he stomped to rotate, right? So maybe they just thought,
Yeah, maybe.
because obviously you can hear, if you've got a good headset, obviously you can hear them run underneath you when you're on the upper side. So I don't know, maybe that was the case. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm completely off base on that one, but Sound didn't make much noise at the beginning of the round, at least. That's all I do know. Oh, Zoe doesn't know. Okay, thankfully he does. And that's maybe by luck more than judgment, gets that shoulder peak information. And Hampus already being down there.
Yeah, Metizport have a lot of early control here, though. We've got 4 players just kind of waiting around Secret, keeping their options available. Oh, man.
Isaac.
Oh, man. Adron's on the edge there.
Dancing with his demise. Zello. And Plopsky. Okay, that's a big kill for Hampus. I think now this is going to be very difficult for Zello to hold on to. Needs a multi-kill, and, you know, actually does get 1. Plopsky. Immediate trade, though. Look at the lurk around the map with Isaac and Hampus. Like, everything's just working out, right? I feel like CT side, they were really locked in terms of their plans and their protocols. And on T side, even though they lost a pistol, in the gun rounds, they've had everyone in the right position at the right time to kind of like stop rotations when they'd already got map control. It's very well drilled.
Yeah, it's true. And Nexus have no info at that point as well. BTN isn't going to be able to just waltz into the B bomb site. He wishes he had a kit right now. Plopsy's going to first to swing, and thankfully he does actually extinguish the threat there. That could have gotten very weird very quickly. But Metizport prevail. They go up 12-4 and they have 8 opportunities to finish off the job.
Yeah, if BTN has a kit there, he 100% holds that. But without a kit, his only option was to try and make the other players panic, who weren't really in a position to see him, right? So that's why Plopsky peaked immediately. This is a great performance from Metizport. I think you mentioned to me, we came into this game, you favoured Metizport quite considerably, I feel like.
I did. Yeah, I did.
And I was thinking it would be a bit more of an even game. First map proved to be
And
the
we're both
former.
kind of right.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say, both of us have ended up in a way pretty accurate. So we'll take that one.
Yeah, absolutely. As Metizport are about to take this series, where would that put them in the brackets, actually? Who would they play against in the next round, potentially? Worth having a quick look at now that it's almost certain Metizport will proceed, and it's going to be the winner between Gamer Legion and Hester.
Yeah.
So
That's a game on many people's lips right now. For many reasons.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds. A bunch of upcomers, and then the very, very talented, dominating Hester, I guess, is a good way to fill that one.
Indeed. Hampus opening the round, and could be about to open the end chapter of this best of 3. D10 trying to hold him at bay on ramp, and Racket's actually managed to find Plopsky, which is nice, but they still have, again, like good positions around the map, and they're winning their duels straight up as well. They're not getting caught on singular angles. Like even here, right? There's a smoke up, but they don't want to push you straight away. Lovely shot, Ragga, gotta be said. The Hampus was still looking for it, right? Like the protocol was there to realise that was an issue. Ragga's having a brilliant round here, and it's turned into a 1 versus 1. We might have a few more legs left. Can Adam finish it off? Oh, that's unfortunate for Adron. The bomb's on the open, but he's got 45 seconds Adam to sort this out, and Adron, I don't think, ever saw Adam creep out. Adam got all the information, and Metizport will take the victory.
Oh, goodness. Okay, that is a very rough result for Nexus to try and come to terms with, considering the position they were once in on Ancient, their opponent's map pick, leading 11-5. From there, they